Hello, world. This is Dominic, your poster child for Overactive Brain Disorder. This is the start of my YouTube empire. I'm going to be running a bunch of channels, 3 to start with. I might add more. Anyway, let's get to what these are and what they're going to be about, so you can see what interests you. Anyway, the first one I'm calling the kitchen table apologist. Apologist is someone who defends Christianity, basically, helps explain it, you know, you know, talks about 1 Peter 3:15, give people a reason for the hope that you have, and that's where the word comes from. Anyway, that's what I'm going to do. I'm not one of those people who's been basically studying all the stuff for all my life, doing going into the advanced degrees, studying the various nuances of various Greek words or Hebrew words, whatever. But I'm what's called a kitchen table apologist. I basically do stuff from like just an ordinary sort of thing, applying the overactive brain in this case to Christianity, and basically the arguments and saying, okay, this makes sense, this doesn't make sense, whatever, and that's the kind of things there. One of the things I'm going to be doing in there is talking about my experiences with various groups, some of which people have called cults. I personally think of them as more of a cult light. Basically, they had some cultic tendencies, enough to sort of vaccinate me against some of the more virulent cults. And I can spot cultic tendencies as a result of this, and so you get a chance to see what's learn from my experience, as it were. Another thing I'm going to be doing at some point is the Game Director series. I think that that Christianity and role-playing games such as Dungeons and Dragons and the like actually have a lot more in common than people think. There's a lot of stuff that I've seen as basically being in both ends of it, and translates well as far as I'm concerned. At least my overactive brain tends to think so. And when I get a chance to do this, you'll be able to see what is going on for me. Anyway, next channel is a subspecies of the kitchen table apologist. It's actually called the Ivory Watchtower. It's basically taking a lot of the stuff that, since I've been been around a number of people who are used to be think they might want to become Jehovah's Witnesses in various points, so I've had a chance to look at this stuff in a lot more detail than most people, and that the stuff that I'm going to be discussing is enough that it's probably worth its own channel. One of the things I'm going to start with on this is what's called the VDM. In 1916, the Watchtower published some questions that they figured everyone should be able to answer, and if you did, they would consider you verbe dei minister, a minister of the Word of God. And so, since they said anybody should be able to answer them, I'll take a crack at them and see what's going on, see if the answers are, if they really are that generic, or if they need stuff. Anyway, but my last channel is basically called MTG Heretic. Now, I've been doing, MTG stands for Magic the Gathering. I've been playing for a long time, judging for almost as long. Basically, it's my job to make sure people follow the rules and do stuff. But in my experience, I think there are a couple things that really should be changed. Well, I have 3 main heresies at the moment. I may have a 4th coming up, but that's a different story. Anyway, first one, I think chess clocks should be a part of tournaments. Now, I know there have been a lot of people who've had arguments against it, really strong arguments against it, but I think that the objections that they raise can be overcome, and when I do the video on that, you're going to hear my answers about that. Second one is basically trying to, especially applies to called Swiss tournaments, where you play a bunch of rounds, and then at the end, either you just assign a winner, or you cut to an elimination round. If you're doing elimination stuff, this is what I'm suggesting is absolutely impossible. But Right now, everything is based on match wins. If you win your match, you know, winning the match is everything. Even more important. It doesn't matter if you've if you've only lost 2 games in the entire Swiss portion, that could be very bad if those 2 games happen to be against the same opponent, because then you've just lost a match. Lost a match, you're ranked under people who may have lost like 5 games, but they spread it out over the various matches. You are ranked behind that person. Even though you only lost 2, they've lost 5. Yeah, I think there should be some sort of balancing factor between them. And the video is going to discuss that. The last heresy used to be a big heresy. Now it's not so big. First one, this last one was with, at first there was ELO ratings. Basically, the chess ratings applied to Magic. You won a match, you got rating improvement. If you lost the match, your rating went down. And so it would constantly bounce up and down and stuff like that. And yeah, I thought it was a bad idea. And later on, the Wizards thought it was a bad idea. So they changed it. And now it's based off of, there are really 3 things that matter. How many people attend the event, how many matches you win, well, your match point rating, 3 for a win, 1 for a draw. And then these get multiplied by a factor based on how big the event is, how important it is. Right now, that's it. But I think that's a little bit too simplistic. You should also be able to factor in your placing in the event. Finishing in the top 8 should be worth more than finishing in the top 16, even if you have the same number of match wins. Same number of match wins. I really think this is there. And also, a slight quibble about just because 2,000 people show up for an event, that should not in and of itself make it more valuable for you to attend. I would, then, but anyway, let's getting back to the future. I think that's what the whole video is about. Another thing I'm going to do, maybe it's going to be on MTG Heretic, maybe it's going to be on a different channel, I'll just have to decide at the time, is to basically take the information that you need to become a judge, put it up on video. I don't think it's been done before. Even if it has, getting another perspective isn't bad. But, taking this information, putting it up there so that anybody who can get access to this will have access to the information that you need to become a judge. But right now, so those are the channels I've got so far. If there's other stuff, let me know. I have an overactive brain, so there's a chance that some of the stuff that you're asking for will be able to fit in with what I can do, and if not, maybe I'll find somebody else who can do it, or maybe it just won't be done, or whatever. Just because you ask for it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get it, but if you don't ask, there's no chance of getting it. So this is the start of my YouTube video empire. Let me know what's going on. This channel is going to have basically weekly updates of what went out on the other stuff, so that you can kind of coordinate and help find the stuff that you like, and maybe find some other things that maybe I can do things that you like. Whatever. Until then, enjoy.